image of the Prime Minister's helicopter lifting off. The Prime Minister was at the crash site. This is an open field where the helicopter landed. The Prime Minister visited the crash site and now he's on his way to Cuttack. It's in Cuttack that the injured are at different hospitals, and you're looking at these images of rescue workers currently engaged in the task of restoring the area. The relief operations are on. The rescue operations, we are told, are over. There was a statement that was made by Dr. Mansukh Mandavia, the health minister, saying 2 teams of doctors from AIIMS Bhubaneswar had also been dispatched for Balasore and Cuttack to assist in the relief operations at the rail accident site. We are providing all required help and medical assistance to the victims of the tragic train accident to save precious lives. And in these images, 3 images on your television screen, you have the Union Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnav briefing Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan flanks the Prime Minister on one side. Railways officials and NDRF officials brief the Prime Minister. One, about how this tragedy took place, the Railways officials giving him a briefing, and of course you have NDRF officers on ground giving the Prime Minister details of how they rescued people through the night. You had the Odisha Disaster Response Force. The Prime Minister now leaves for Cuttack. The Prime Minister would be visiting the hospitals in Cuttack. He would be meeting the injured. The Health Minister has put out information about special teams being set up to provide all relief and help to those injured. Indrajit, what more can you tell us about the nature of injuries, and in case doctors have been able to classify how many of those 900 plus have serious injuries, how many on the DI list, and how many would be released after initial treatment?
Well, we are yet to get that exact breakup, Gaurav, but I'm given to understand, I've just got a message that over 3,000 units of blood collected since last night in Cuttack, Balasore and Bhadrak, which is quite a massive number. And there have been donations that were made to CM and PM relief funds as well, is what we are being told. As far as the preliminary report is concerned, the official tally right now is 261 deaths. And the number of persons injured is now 1,000. And, some of the statistics, quick statistics, there are 9 NDRF teams which are working right now, 5 ODRF teams and 24 Odisha Fire Service and Emergency Units engaged in the operation. There are 100 medical teams and paramedical staff which are also at work. More than 200 ambulances engaged in shifting people to the hospitals since yesterday. There are 30 buses. There are around 1,000 injured people who have been shifted to Soro Hospital, the Balasore Hospital, the Bhadrak Hospital, and a hospital, government hospital in Cuttack. So, the Prime Minister, of course, has left the location. He will be, landing in Cuttack soon, where he will be able to interact with some of the injured people who are recuperating in the hospital.
Prime Minister now on his way to Cuttack. He would be visiting the hospital. He would be interacting with the injured. For the nation, for the railways, the bigger challenge at this point of time is how do you ensure speedy mobility and keep accidents down? That has been the biggest challenge for the Indian Railways as it expands its network. As the country moves on, as the country looks forward to being the 3rd largest economy of the world, we are the 5th largest economy. But look at these images. These images leave you heartbroken, they leave you horrified, and these are these, and that's the question that experts have been asking constantly, are these avoidable? Could deployment of the anti-collision system have prevented this? The second image that you see on your television screen is of massive earth-moving machines or JCB machines and bulldozers now engaged in the task of restoration. They will once again lift these bogies that can still be salvaged and these bogies would then be taken, initially of course they'd all be put to a side, the track would be restored, given a clearance so that railway movement can start on these tracks. But look at these mangled remains. Two of the express trains, we are told, were at high speed. Initial information seems to suggest that the Coromandel Express at high speed the second image that you see is of Prime Minister on the phone. The Prime Minister was interacting, we are told, with the injured on mobile phone. That's the information that's coming out. The Prime Minister interacted with one of the injured patients on mobile phone. He's also interacting with other railway officials, and Ashwini Vaishnav, the Railways Minister, looking extremely grim. This is a huge tragedy. In that video, you can see him in conversation with Dharmendra Pradhan. Conversation has been around the Kavach anti-collision system. How does the system work? Railways officials say, 1, Kavach was not installed on this route. 2, the Kavach system alerts the loco pilot if a signal is jumped. There is the SPAD, signal passed at danger warning, that comes out, and the system alerts the loco driver. The loco pilot takes control of the brakes, and then it brings the train to a halt when it notices another train on the same track. That is how the Kavach system works. The railways, experts in the railways, and this is an indigenous system. That second image that you see on your television screen, the Prime Minister on the phone, information that's coming in from Balasore indicates that the Prime Minister was interacting with the injured. We will probably have more information on this conversation in a short while from now. But this huge tragedy brings to fore the point about railway safety. The Kavach system, it has an auto whistle system near gates. The railways has so far claimed in areas where Kavach is installed, it brings down chances of a collision virtually to zero.